Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call the Governing Board meeting for October 25th to order. I would like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Carlos Ruiz will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Ruiz. We'll be hearing from you shortly, right? Good. Good. Just a recognition that tonight we have in attendance with us the American Community College class from Arizona State University. And their instructor, Louis Albert, is here as well. And we would just like to welcome you to the Governing Board meeting. Thank you for coming. The first item on the agenda is student life reports, Glendale Community College.
All right. Are both of these working?
Yep.
All right. All right. Good evening, President Gutierrez, members of the Governing Board, Chancellor Harper-Marinick, members of the CEC, and guests. We are Associate Student Government of Glendale Community College. My name is Carlos Ruiz. My academic goal for this year is to attain Associates in Biotechnology and Molecular Bioscience, and I am their president for this academic year. We are thankful for the opportunity to talk to you about our past year and what may lie ahead. We too are concerned about enrollment trends, dwindling or insufficient resources, completion agendas, student engagement, and strategic direction, all from a student perspective. Our student government is housed within the Student Leadership Center. Last year alone, we touched the lives of over 30,000 stakeholders at our two campuses, internal and external. We would like to share some of our experiences and insight with you this evening. Please allow me to introduce our Vice President, Teresa Bruno.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, my name is Teresa Bruno. My academic goal at Glendale Community College is to obtain an associate's degree in digital arts. Student government at Glendale Community College is more than merely a funding source for our student organizations and campus events. We serve on many internal committees to include hiring committees for permanent hires and district councils such as the one for men. Most recently, we served as a focus group for the online enrollment process that is in development. We appreciate any and all opportunities to provide feedback on anything that will directly impact the students we support. Please allow me to introduce our treasurer, Priscilla Salas.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Salas. My academic goal at Glendale Community College is to obtain an associate's degree in business. Student life at GCC is robust and vibrant with possibility. Our student organizations plan trips such as competitions, conferences, and conventions that have meaning. We host events that engage our student and employee populations in activities and causes that reach far beyond the borders of our college. Most recently, our Phi Theta Kappa chapter partnered with Paima Community College to host an Honors Institute for the entire Arizona region. Several of GCC's faculty participated in a panel discussion focused on free tuition and its impact. As a business major and a student, this topic is of great interest to me. One of the reasons behind their creativity and innovation in the caliber of their activities is our unique funding structure and generosity of our campus leadership in their valuing their engagement by making us a priority of the college. Please allow me to introduce our secretary, Crystal Perez.
Hello everyone, my name is Crystal Perez, and my academic goal at Glendale Community College is to obtain an associate's degree in communication. Participating in district initiatives plays a large role in what we do. Everything from supporting Breathe Easy, participating in Ignite, encouraging completion amongst our peers, supporting and participating men and women rising chapters, activities, and initiatives, to sustainability and environmental concerns in relations to reducing our carbon footprints is supported through ASG. In addition to all of these things, we have our own events, activities, and initiatives at our own college level, and even within our own group. As if that is not enough to keep us busy, we are students first. Academics comes first, because our one true goal is to come out of the other side of this educational journey as educated. That said, I would like to introduce our Public Relations Officer, Edwin Guerrero.
Hello everyone, my name is Edwin Guerrero. My academic goal at Glendale Community College is to obtain an Associate's in Applied Science in the field of Computer Software Engineering. Each year, we include our growth in our report. It never ceases to amaze us. When the Student Leadership Center opened its doors, there were 23 student organizations and a student government that could not seem to attract and retain a full board. With the recent addition of 4 new clubs, everything from religious-based, engineering, to glass fusion, we have hit 60 clubs and possesses in every sense of thriving, engaging student life. Our student government routinely has a full board with a cumulative GPA higher than the required 2.0. We have grown from merely attending conferences, workshops, and retreats to hosting them, staffing them, and facilitating them. To conclude our presentation this evening, I would once again like to introduce our president, Carlos Ruiz.
All right. I would like to thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity to talk about our past year, what we are currently doing, and most importantly, what we hope to achieve ourselves as an organization and what we hope to make possible for our student organizations that we support. None of which would be possible without the support of the administration and all of you guys. We have one parting thought we would like to share as we head towards the spring semester, and it is with lightning speed, with every journey. Let me get to that. It's a good line. With all it holds in lightning speed, may every journey be problem-free and clear sailing. We look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Heep. Comments or discussion? Thank you all very, very much for joining us today. There is, however, one question. Ms. McGrath?
All right.
Oh, did you have a question? No. Okay, stop being rude. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And we're good?
Yes, sir. Unless you have another speech.
Or you got homework, you can go home.
College reports, Rio Salado College. President Bustamante.
Yes, President Gutierrez, members of the board, Chancellor Harper-Marinick, members of CEC, and guests. As a district and as colleges, we are always looking for ways to get the word out to our communities and to build our brand awareness. For my college update this evening, I'd like to share a new way that we are creating engagement with Rio with our internal and external communities. As you know, Rio Salado serves more than 56,000 students annually, with nearly 29,000 of those students online with flexible formats. So we are a little different. We don't have the traditional foot track that a traditional campus has. We don't have a music program, art shows, or athletic teams. So what's really missing? So as you look at this slide, and you can see in this photo, we were the only college in the district without a mascot. So after 38 years without a mascot, we decided that it was time to choose. What was that?
To be the prunes?
Oh, you'll find out soon enough, President Gutierrez. So we were looking for a mascot that would represent Rio Salado's name and relate to our unique mission and our innovative practices to provide the flexibility that our students need to achieve a college education that we provide them. So last year, the college commenced with a mascot selection process. More than 200 ideas were submitted from students, faculty, staff, and the community. Some of the ideas were, as you can see here, the salty dogs, the roadrunners, sun storks, ravens, sunburners. You may find some favorites here. Rio salt shakers, the riptides, and then the Rio waves. So nearly 1,400 people voted, and we are now, as a result, the Rio Waves, with Splash as our mascot. The Rio Waves represent cyber waves for our online programs, radio waves, certainly for our radio programs, and making waves in higher education through our very innovative programs. So finally, the costume is in, and just a few weeks ago, Splash joined the Chancellor at our all-employee meeting, as you can see in this PowerPoint slide, to take a selfie with her. So a great time was had by all in taking this selfie with our Chancellor. So it is now my pleasure to officially introduce you and the public to Rio's new mascot, Splash.
We needed music.
I don't know if there's enough room for Splash, but we hope so.
I think Splash is...
As you know, mascots can't speak for themselves, so I would also like to welcome a few of Splash's biggest fans, that, as you can see here, who are here to help you learn more about Splash. So we have some of our students here, Daniel Mott, Emily Yeager, Irma Villegas, and Vanessa Williams. Daniel, would you please address the board?
Yes. Hi. President Gutierrez, members of the board, Dr. Harper-Marinick, members of the CEC, and honored guests. We are excited to be here tonight with you. My name is Daniel Mott, and as Dr. Bustamante mentioned, I'm a student at Rio. Being a Rio Wave is so appropriate for students at an institution who has a long history of innovation and making waves in higher education. And as you can see from Rio's waves represented in Splash's hairstyle. Tonight we have created a meeting around Splash's name to help you remember who the Rio Waves are. S represents the Salt River that Rio is named for. S also represents sound waves broadcasted from Rio's radio station, KJZZ, KBOC, and Sun Sounds of Arizona. P is what Rio employees strive for, is putting students first. L is for Rio's reputation for being an innovation leader in higher education. A is for the academic achievement. S is for Rio's students surfing the internet, mostly doing homework, of course. H is for the heart that it takes to help students succeed. And last but not least, an exclamation point for Splash's enthusiasm for students. So let me ask you, what does that spell? Splash. Once more time, what does that spell? Splash. So Splash, how do we do? You will be seeing Splash at colleges, district and community events in the near future, and perhaps another picture can be taken soon with other college mascots. Thank you for having us here tonight.
Mr. President Gutierrez, we have one.
President Bustamante.
We have one really brief presentation, one additional one, which is, as representatives of the college, Splash and I would like to welcome our governing board member, Mrs. Johanna Haver, back, and to wish her well in her continued recovery. We have a special bouquet of flowers for her. This is her first meeting back, and we want to make sure that she knows
Oh, how beautiful.
how much we appreciate her.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank all of you for sending me cards and messages. It really kept my spirits up. And it's great to be back. 3 solid months of chemotherapy. I'm glad it's over. and the rest of the staff won't interfere with anything. Oh my goodness! Oh, this is.
Thank you, President Gutierrez. That
Beautiful.
concludes our presentation. It was a
He's a
unique
nice
one.
guy. The last time the colleges went through this, we came up with an artichoke. So I'm not sure, President Gaylor, that this was a greater outcome. I don't know.
This is so darn cute. He's going in my classroom tomorrow. Yeah, no, so darn cute. I apologize for walking in.
Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
The Adjunct Faculty Association report, Ms. Haas. She's making her way. She had to follow Splash. Splash is not to be confused with Speedy.
Here. It's kind of hard to find the place. Isn't that nice?
That was very nice.
Look, they're just beautiful.
That's what I get for hiding in the corner. President Gutierrez, members of the board, Dr. Harper-Marinick, members of the CEC and guests, I'm Patricia Gail Haas, the Adjunct Faculty Association President, and I have about 4 developments to talk to you about. This month, the Maricopa Center for Teaching and Learning, in conjunction with the Adjunct Faculty Association, hosted the Fall Day of Learning over at Gateway. It was wonderful. This theme was improving the adjunct experience. 110 adjuncts from across the district attended this event, and it was an opportunity to address the needs, concerns, and inadequacies that were revealed by the survey. For this event, we invited some of the district's well-known masters of their craft to present and participate in the Saturday event. The purpose of this plan was to demonstrate support for adjuncts from across the district, and several residential faculty were there to present and show their support of adjuncts. I think every school sent some swag and through their marketing departments, and we appreciate it very much. There's nothing like teachers and free stuff. It was a nice token of appreciation, and big pile of pens and highlighters and lanyards, and even South Mountain's big orange cups. They're amazing. And lens cleaners. We had a dynamic dialogue. We presented 2 tracks. The first was information on what school administrators are looking for when they select new faculty members for their school and what it means to be residential. We had just a heart-to-heart talk about that. The second track was pedagogical, with some workshops on developmental ed, brain-based learning, and creative teaching. The highlight was definitely our Vice Chancellor and Provost, Dr. Paul Doyle, who strongly connected with this group with his straight talk and 10 years experience as an adjunct. His sincerity and passion definitely carried the message of the district's support for adjuncts. I think everyone that was involved in the event, it was a success, and we look for more participation in the future. We hold these about twice a year. There's an important development on an issue that's concerned adjuncts for a long time. Human relations teams are working for a manageable process for making adjuncts internal candidates when they apply for other positions in the district. These planners are analyzing and working with the big picture, and I am pleased that this process will also be able to track adjunct longevity. In the current process, it's not been possible to track longevity because adjuncts are hired at the local school, so we have no way of tracking them when they work at different schools. So this process, there's no timeline for it yet, but it's really exciting to know that it's in the works. Another development I'd like to talk to you about is at Chandler Gilbert. A couple of years ago, during preparation for this month's visit from the Higher Learning Commission, we experimented with establishing a small local committee for adjuncts. And it was just adjunct run, and now it's called the A-Team. This committee helped to support the AFA rep, and that rep would share some of the project's missions, concerns with that committee. So the purpose of doing that was to help with the transition, because adjunct reps from the AFA only stay in place 1 or at the most 2 years. And it can take you up to 6 months to figure your way around the school. So using this committee and keeping a group of people informed, I think has really helped with the transition, and our experiment, I think, is positive. Chandler Gilbert, the new rep, hit the ground running, and all of the reps right now are wonderful. Lastly, over the summer, an adjunct task force worked on proposals to help adjuncts impact the classroom. This is related to effectiveness, preparation, and morale. The proposal is currently being polished and will soon be presented. I can tell you, however, that it will contain specific recognition for adjuncts that pursue professional development. And then there'll be a second level of leadership that is to distinctly prepare adjuncts to compete effectively for positions, residential positions, and also to be well prepared when they get those positions, knowing more about how their schools operate and the function that being residential is more than teaching classes. So that's in the works, and I don't know what the timeline is there, but I'm excited about that opportunity. So this year can be categorized by the title, Improving the Adjunct Experience, but we can't lose sight of the fact that the real title is Improving the Student's Experience. So I want to thank everyone for their support of adjuncts. It's very visible and tangible, and we're really looking forward to a continued great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Haas. Questions, discussion? Thank you very much, Ms. Haas. The next item is employee groups. Kris Bliss for the classified staff.
Good evening, President Gutierrez, governing board members, Chancellor Harper-Marinick, members of CEC and guests. Thank you for the time to speak to you all this evening. Over the past month, I had the opportunity to meet with almost all the vice chancellors. I think Ed is next on my list. These conversations were meant to provide opportunities not only for them to meet a representative of the Classified Staff Council, but for me to express the desire we have as a council to work with each of the vice chancellors, supporting their initiatives as appropriate and providing input from the employee perspective. We are building partnerships in order to move the organization of Maricopa forward and ensure the interests of employees are heard and represented. I also had the opportunity to attend the Student Success Conference held on October 14th in Phoenix. I believe a few of you all may have been there as well. What a great way for Maricopa employees to learn from each other and have the time to reconnect with why we do what we do every day. Our first keynote speaker, Dr. Sean Harper, really helped to frame the day for us, asking us to think about the students we serve, helping us to see the difference we make and need to continue to make in the lives of our minority students in particular, but really for all students. This got me to thinking about the services employees provide to help get these students through the doors and into the chairs in the classrooms. The employees who ensure the campus looks inviting, all the trash is picked up, the landscape is neat and tidy, etc. The employees who ensure we are safe every day, checking our parking stickers, monitoring suspicious activity, being ready to charge a car battery if needed. The employees who help to register students, admitting them into the college, advising them on what courses to take, helping them get financial aid and scholarships. The employees who provide support in other ways, providing opportunities for students to develop leadership skills, providing outlets for their expressions of thoughts and ideas, ensuring they have food so they can focus in class. These are just a few examples of how employees in Maricopa ensure students are supported in their journey. Education is our core job, but that job wouldn't be possible without a partnership between all of us. It is important we take time to acknowledge the hard work done every day to support our students in direct and indirect ways. Our daily work is changing students' lives and bettering our communities. The mission of the Maricopa County Community College District is to provide access to higher education for diverse students and communities. The Classified Staff Council wants to stress the importance of all Maricopa employees being in this together. We know there may be some tough times and decisions ahead. To move forward as an organization, we must work together to improve the status quo. We are here to make positive and meaningful changes, to build trust, increase consistency, and improve collaboration throughout the organization. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Bliss. Questions, comments? Thank you, Ms. Bliss. The next item is a special guest, the Reverend John Mireles, who is the Executive Director of the League of United Latin American Citizens. The League is the largest and the oldest advocacy organization for Latinos in the United States. Pastor Mireles.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Dr. Gutierrez, Board President, and acknowledge the Board of Governors and Chancellor Harper-Marinick and all the college presidents and our guest here. LULAC, again, is the oldest and largest Hispanic civil rights organization in the United States. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Since 1929. And we have an annual LULAC FBI Community Service Awards luncheon every year. And this is the 26th annual one that we've had. 26 years ago, the LULAC and the Honorable Bill Sessions, the former FBI director, and the former created a partnership to recognize outstanding citizens in our community. And since that time, we've given awards out to build unity and goodwill within our community and to honor selfless servants of our society who day-to-day work to improve the community in which we live. So it's our honor to recognize today, in partnership with the FBI, to salute and thank an outstanding individual, which is Dr. Maria Harper-Marinick. Anybody have a camera?
Everyone has a camera. Everyone has a camera.
And also, I'm chair of the Latino Advisory Committee for the Chancellor, and I just want to thank all the support from the community colleges and the board to make that happen every year, that we have a community Latino Advisory Committee and other advisory committees to advise your great leadership. Thank you.
Pastor, thank you very much for being with us, for the award. We thank you on behalf of our Chancellor and this board. And thank you for your service to our colleges by chairing the Latino Advisory Board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Faculty Emeritus distinctions, Glendale Community College. Dr. Reese.
President Gutierrez, may I approach the podium?
You may.
President Gutierrez, Chancellor Harper-Marinick, governing board members, and members of CEC. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Professor Joe Kirstein and to recommend him to receive the Faculty Emeritus Award of Distinction. I'd like to read a little bit of the recommendation that came forward to you. Professor Joe Kirstein has made outstanding contributions to students, employees, and administration in our district. He has served over 24 years as a faculty member, as well as 21 years as the head football coach for GCC. In that time, he is known as the all-time leader in wins for our football team and lead winner across the state of Arizona with an overall record of 115 wins, 43 losses, and 2 ties. In those years, he also won 8 bowl games and 3 national championships. In his time at GCC, he is known for instilling confidence in our students and empowering our students and our faculty and staff. We are very proud of him and would like to recommend him for the Faculty of Emeritus distinction.
Well, when Lisa Lewis called me the other day and told me of this possibility, I was shocked and humbled. Every day I came on the campus at Glendale, it was all about trying to make a difference in somebody's life, whether it be one of my students in a health class or an athlete that has struggles in family or on the field or whatever. And my colleagues are fantastic people, the brightest and best I've ever been around, and I've been around for a while now, and much more talented than myself, but they knew I worked hard, and I came prepared, and that's what I've asked out of my students every day. Let's get a little bit better every day, and this is a tremendous honor. It's a great way to kind of culminate my career. I've actually taken on a new role as a coach again, which I'm going crazy about, but I'm working at Arizona Christian University, which we're doing really well, but it's a hard job, believe me. But just thank you so much. I really appreciate everything that Maricopa has done for me and the opportunity that I've been given or was given for many, many years to try to impact people's lives. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Coach Tracy. Questions, comments? Thank you very much. Item 9.2 on your agenda is without objection deferred until our next formal meeting. So the next item would be citizens interim. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience to address the board. We have not received any, this was the other gentleman. We have not received any requests. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak? If not, we will go on to item number 11, the Chancellor's report. Chancellor Harper-Marinick.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez, members of the board. Tonight we have as guests the class Women's Mentor Program class of 2016-2017. And let me tell you a little bit about that before I ask them to stand and be recognized. It is a program that we have in Maricopa to provide opportunities for our women employees to develop individual learning goals and professional opportunities within the system. We encourage all of them to prepare for and to seek professional growth opportunities, and as opportunities are available in the system. This year we have 28 participants, 28 mentees, and we have actually graduated since the inception of the program. We've had 429 women who have participated. So we are proud of the opportunity that we offer them. All of the members of the planning committee are volunteers, they're employees. All of the mentors are volunteers too, and that we're all employees. I am one of them. So tonight we say thank you to the mentees for making that important decision to participate in the program. And I say thank you to the 2 representatives from the planning committee, Dr. Kathy Hernandez from Gateway and Ms. Almitra Walker. And if you can all mentees and Dr. Hernandez and Ms. Walker get up so we can say thank you and celebrate you tonight. Thank you, and that's my report for tonight.
Thank you all very much for joining us, and thank you for participating in the program. And thank you, Chancellor, for making this program go forward and making it a success. Approval of the order of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. The consideration of the consent agenda action. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Is there a request by any member to remove an item from the consent agenda? If not, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The consideration of non-consent items, the approval of the settlement agreement of the Mireles claim. Chancellor?
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez, members of the board. Item 17.1 is a recommendation for the board to approve negotiated payment for the benefit of Brittany Mireles as consideration for the settlement of a claim arising out of Paradise Valley Community College, and the governing board has been apprised of the history of this matter through privileged communication with our Office of General Counsel.
Members of the board, this is an item that we considered in executive session, and we have been noticed by memorandum, confidential memorandum as well. If there are any questions, this will be moved to an executive session. Otherwise, it's not open for discussion. Is there a motion?
I move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 18.1, approve construction of contract award for the running track resurfacing at the much-needed Paradise Valley Track and Glendale Community Colleges, repairs at Scottsdale Community College. Vice Chancellor Murphy.
Mr. Gutierrez, board members, we're recommending that the governing board approve the construction contract award in the amount of $533,146.05 to Bainan Sports Field Turf USA Incorporated for the running track resurfacing at Paradise Valley and the track at Glendale Community Colleges and patching for the Scottsdale Community College track.
Before I take a motion on this, let me explain, especially to the university students that are here, that all of these items have been discussed in detail. There is an earlier meeting that's open to the public to discuss all of these items. And so if you find little discussion here, it's because it's taken place, not because we're simply ignoring and just pushing things forward. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Information technology, approve the extension of ERP consultants. Vice Chancellor Kelty.
Mr. Gutierrez and members of the board, the following is a joint request from ITS Business Services and Human Resources. It's to address adjustments to the student information system, the human capital management system, and the financial management system. Over the last couple of years, as we've upgraded these systems and moved them into the cloud and dug deeper in each one of them, we found additional areas that need to be enhanced or remediated. For example, for HCM, the human resource, and the student record system, there are additional customizations that we want to take out to make it more standardized and streamlined. As another example, our student record system has over 2,000 jobs that we run every evening, and those have been in place for at least 6 or 7, if not 8 or 9 years, and they need to be reviewed, remediated, and in some cases removed or updated. We have other areas in our human capital management system we need to align with our budget and FMS and SIS system, which will improve financial reporting and other decision-making in those areas. And any new features we might add as we move forward, just because this was asked before, would not be modifications to the system. They would be bolt-on and integration, so we won't be modifying the core systems anymore from this point forward. Also, as planned from the beginning, just so you're aware, when the board approved the moving forward with moving these systems into the cloud, it was also noted that the comp and class aspect would require further research to clearly define those business requirements before Oracle and other vendors could help Maricopa move on those. As Ms. Murphy had indicated earlier at the Finance Review meeting, we will be moving that forward as another item sometime in the very near future. We're assuming it's going to be December.
Thank you, Mr. Kelty. Is there a motion? Second? It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 19.2, approve network managed service. Vice Chancellor Kelty.
Mr. Gutierrez and members of the board, ITS is looking to increase our ability to manage and proactively assess and protect our network by hiring a company to do several things for us. Initially, they will be setting up a networking operations center and a security operations center, which will monitor our network 24/7 for either outages, performance issues. That's the network operations center. The security operations center will be monitoring our entire network for security issues, initially notifying us in both of those instances if there's an issue, and we will internally take care of it. But as we progress and that company gets to know Maricopa better, we will actually allow them to do proactive maintenance. So if in the middle of the evening they see we're under some kind of cyber attack, they will actually be able to take defensive action to help protect Maricopa.
You've heard the description. Is there a motion?
I move approval.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Discussion, comments? If not, all those in favor would you signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 19.3, approve learning management system contract extension. Vice Chancellor Kelty.
Mr. Gutierrez and members of the board, we are looking at extending the contract for our Canvas learning management system. Our learning management system is software that provides tools for instructors and employees to deliver content, monitor student participation, assess student performance, and it supports both online and hybrid classes. This is a technology that's been in place for about 5 years. It's been well received by Maricopa faculty and staff and students, and we're not looking for any budget increases, but just to extend the contract for another 5 years.
Heard the description. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Is there a second?
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Information items and first readings. 20.1, employment. Vice Chancellor Shelton.
Thank you, President Gutierrez and members of the board. These are the employment numbers for the period of the month of September. We had a total of 27 new hires, and for that same period, a total of 29 separations.
Discussion, questions? If not, 21.1, the review budget analysis, Fund 1. Vice Chancellor Murphy.
Mr. Gutierrez, governing board members, this will be the report for the first 3 months of the fiscal year. At this time, everything is really tracking compared to where we typically are at this time of year, with expenditures of $146 million, revenue $127 million. But again, those are projections. We receive some revenue at specific times in the year, and the payments are just part of a timing issue. We do expect to stay on track. Fund balance and financial stability requirements have been met, and all in all, we seem to be staying on track with the budget.
Discussion. If not, we are at community linkage, governing board reports. Mr. Burke.
Mr. Gutierrez, members of the board, had 3 activities this last month. I attended the Phoenix Chamber of Commerce Greater Economic Outlook event, and learned that our economics looks fairly slow this next year. Went to the Student Success Conference and heard Dr. Louis Olivas give a report on demographics over the next several decades. And I wish the whole governing board could see that. If that's available, Chancellor, I think it would be well to send us a link to that presentation. It's just fascinating. And finally, I went to the Chandler Gilbert Community College building dedication of Cooper Hall. It was dedicated in memory of Gordon Cooper, an astronaut who took flight training at Williams Air Force Base. His family was there, his wife. He has a son-in-law. She has a son-in-law who's attending Chandler Gilbert. So it was a wonderful building dedication. It's a classroom building for CTE programs, and it's state-of-the-art. It was really impressive. Enjoyed doing that very much.
Mr. Sarr.
I attended those as well. I spent some time today at the Greater Phoenix Economic Council Ambassadors meeting. We learned a great deal about the difficulties and the successes that they've had in attracting businesses to the Phoenix metropolitan area. As all those meetings go, the community colleges and post-secondary education are essential for attracting those businesses and the jobs that go with them. So it's always fun to be in those situations where they think you're doing a good job, but we know we have to do continue to do a better job because of the need that those businesses tell us they have for skilled laborers and skilled professionals. So we continue to work with them and enhance our student success rates so that those needs of business and industry are met.
Ms. Haver.
Well, I'm just really happy to be back. When you go through something like this, you learn to separate what's not so important from what really does matter. And I have to tell you that our colleges really do matter. And I mean, I met nurses, doctors, technicians, all kinds of people that were the result of what we've been doing in these colleges for so many years, and it's what really matters and will continue to matter in my life. And so I'm very happy for the opportunity to be with all of you.
Mrs. Livingston.
Thank you. Last week I attended a Manufacturing Council luncheon, and I was pleased to see that Maricopa was quite the presence there, and I hope we only continue in that. Behind me there are about 10 packages for Estrella Mountain. I actually beg of all the colleges to reach out to your Title I high schools. They're drowning. The counselors at the schools are not helping the students. We need you to make a presence. Go to somebody on the campus. If you're calling Dysart, call me. I will get you in touch with anyone you need. Send me packets for Estrella Mountain and GCC. I can up your status quo by an awful lot. At least 100 or more students on my campus have no idea what they're doing. 100 or more at GCC. Towards need to go to GCC area-wise. We really have to get in touch with these babies because they have no idea how to get into school. And our counselors at the high school level don't have the time to sit with them. I know so many teachers will sit down with them at my schools. I just have to physically sit with the teacher, or I will do it myself. I don't want these kiddos to go by the wayside. I'm physically going to, where's Dr. Laura? Dr. Laura, I'm coming to your school with a couple, more than a couple. I might take a bus. They want to be there. So anybody that can get me things, please do. Reach out to your Title I schools especially. They're just lost. But again, you do a wonderful job. We're failing them in the high schools. We're not getting the counselors to the kids appropriately. So I know we can do this together and increase and grow our schools. And yes, as Mrs. Haver said, you guys are all fabulous, and we're putting out great products out there. So thank you.
Mr. Heep.
Thank you. Is it on?
Yeah, turn it on.
Okay, there we go. Okay, thank you. Really appreciate it. I'm going to have to come at this with a broad stroke because this month has been full. Starting off with ACCT, which I could summarize it as a meeting of a lot of trustees across the country and discussing so many different subjects, it's unimaginable. But the other side of it is we also received a lot of trial balloons from Washington, D.C. and from other parts of the industry, the educational industry. So later on I'll be able to describe some of those, but they're trial balloons. So that's what was interesting about the convention in the first place. Next is a candidates forum. It's hard to describe this, but all intents and purposes, for the last month, I've been running around from meeting to meeting, sometimes one, sometimes 3 meetings a day. And I got to say, we have a lot of respect coming from the citizens of Maricopa County. So if before they said had any complaints, they congratulate us and thank us for what we've done for them, for their children and for also themselves. And so that's it's been beautiful. Last but not least, and not a trial balloon, is going through economic consoles, or how can I say it? You difficult to understand economists because they all have an opinion, and every one of them has a separate opinion. But one thing that we did come out, what we did receive was that we're looking at a flat future for the next 5 years, which was disappointing. So it's up to us to make a difference and make that a change for growth, rather than this 0.25% of growth in a quarter. We should, considering we are the leaders, offer more opportunity than this. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Ms. McGrath.
Thank you, President Gutierrez. I too was able to attend the dedication of Cooper Hall at Williams Field, and it was wonderful to meet his wife and her children and grandchildren, and brought back lots of memories for me when I was in school at Arizona State. I used to date those guys from Willie's, and some of them were great as Mr. Cooper, and some of them weren't so hot. Anyway, my big wonderful news tonight is I'd like to say happy birthday to John Heep.
We're not singing to him. I will be brief. I attended ACCT as well. I made a brief presentation there. I spoke to the board and the staff of the Helios Foundation about trends in community college education in general, education financing across the country. And I attended the Student Success Luncheon. I was, not luncheon, or the conference rather, I was impressed with the number of folks that took time to go there. I really would like to challenge the faculty. I thought that it would have been incredibly valuable for more faculty to have been there. There were a few hundred people. I'm not chastising the faculty. The faculty is terrific. I just think that's the kind of opportunity that we need to take advantage of. External community reports. The Association of District Governing Boards, Mr. Burke.
No report.
The Arizona School Boards Association, Mr. Sarr.
Brief report in the fact that in December there'll be the annual conference of school board members from across the state of Arizona, which we are a member. It's the conference where we learn about what's happening in the legislature, especially this coming session. Always important to know what's going on in our K-12, as we've heard earlier. And we have to make sure our students have a smooth transition from their high school days into our facilities, and we hope that you get a chance to attend that. It's really a worthwhile conference. And
ACCT, Mr. Sarr.
That's me too. I also attended the annual conference of ACCT and with Dr. Harper-Marinick held one session which went very well. Heard lots of feedback on our ability to focus on our 4 outcomes and hold everybody accountable to those, and it's sold well, I think. But ACCT is thriving. We look forward to going back to Washington, D.C. in February to meet with department heads to make sure that the new administration understands who we are, what we can do, and how they can help us.
I should add that Mr. Sawyer was elected to the nominating committee of ACCT. Congratulations. The establishment of next meeting dates. There are some special meetings I want to begin with. There will be 3 public hearings. These are special public hearings, meetings, to discuss the future of the community colleges and the restructuring of the community colleges. The first is Monday, November 21st. The second is Monday, November 28th. And the third is Monday, December 5th. I'm not giving you locations because we are still contracting for those. The intent is to have one on the west side, perhaps at the Glendale Civic Center, one in Central Phoenix, and one on the far east side. So there will be 3 hearings to hear from the public and all of you, as well as staff, faculty, adjuncts, presidents, and everyone else will be invited. We hope to have those locations tied down this week, and so that will be made public at that time. On regular meetings, November 8th, 3 p.m., agenda review in this room, governing board room. On Saturday, November 19th, Gateway Community College, Copper Room at 8 a.m. That is the annual monitoring report meeting. For those of you not familiar with that, it's perhaps the most important meeting of the year. It is the year in which, in effect, we will discuss how well the district did in all of its goals, how well we did in university transfers, how well we did in certificates, workforce development, etc. Those are the discussions of very specific metrics that will take place in that meeting. November 22nd, the agenda review for December 13th. That is the agenda reviews where we discuss the items which we then pass or fail in the regular meeting. November 22nd, Budget and Finance at 5:35. November 25th, regular board meeting, governing board room. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, obviously the next month is going to be a very busy one as we complete the year. If there is no further discussion, we stand adjourned.
Mr. Gutierrez.
We do not stand adjourned. Everybody sit down. Everybody calm down. I was trying to figure out if you were sleeping. Jim obviously was. Yes, ma'am.
The date for the regular meeting in November is the 22nd also, not 25th. That will be a Friday.
I'm sorry, I have 25 on my little red calendar here. So it's the 22nd.
That makes
yes.
sense.
22nd, yes.
Yeah. I apologize for that if you wrote that down correct. Thank you very much, Chancellor. That's why she's the Chancellor and I'm not. Among other things. Thank you all very, very much for withstanding this.